And we are live.
Welcome to the Bleeding Burgundy Podcast, a Washington football podcast by fans for fans. With your hosts, Jesse Martin.
You want to play what? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
John Taylor.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
And Keith Gray.
The King, your Majesty.
And now here's your host, John Taylor.
Hey, I'm your host. I am John Taman. I'm your host. I always get a kick out of that, like I'm your host, like I'm supposed to tell you that, hey, man, if you go inside, you can put your coats on the freaking bed and, come on out here and join the party. Let's see. It is our post-season wrap-up show here on the Bleeding Burgundy Podcast. Once again, Keith is off doing something with his family. He's heading to Atlantic City. Jesse, did you see this text today? He's going to Atlantic City.
Atlantic City. Been there a couple times.
Me too. Tell me this. What is there to do in Atlantic City with kids in the middle of January?
Not much of shit.
So,
you don't take your kids to Atlantic City in the middle of fucking January. I mean, you just don't. So
tell you what,
more power to them.
When I was 18, I got grandfathered into practically anything, and I was up there buying drinks for my 16-year-old friend in the Playboy Club, thinking we were something because they would serve my friend, $10 fucking rum and cokes and shit, and they don't give a shit as long as nobody sees it.
As
They're
long
getting
as
their
that money is coming in, who fucking cares?
That's right. So anyway, I'm talking with my friend about Atlantic City, where Keith is going with my friend Jesse Martin. Jesse, how are you doing this week? I know you got some bad news this week, man.
Oh yeah, well, it is what it is.
Yeah, I know. Death in the family. It's how it goes.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. And over top of my wife, crinkling a whole bunch of plastic shit in the other room, is my friend Scott Hartley. Oh, I did it twice.
Twice. How we doing, fellas?
No, I guess we're doing just fine. Let me pass it over to you guys real quick. I'll be right back.
And I don't know why he does that, but he does that all the time.
So a busy week in Washington then, Jesse.
I guess so, yeah. We had a busy week in Washington. Scott Turner gets laid off. Now, whether, it's him being thrown under the bus or not, it happened. I understand why it happened. Lots of folks in the Washington franchise or the fan base is very happy about that. You got a lot of big name media guys coming out saying that they're kind of upset about that. That they think that Scott got thrown under the bus, and in a way, I kind of agree, but in a way, something had to change. But nothing is going to change really until you fix the quarterback and offensive line situation.
Well, I think that with the offensive line situation, you got a primary thing there because we'll talk about quarterback in a couple of minutes. But I don't really care for the notion that he got thrown under the bus by some of these media types because, frankly, you are what you are, and what you are is the offensive coordinator of an offense that's averaged about less than 20 points for the last 2 years, quarterback or not. You got 2 years with the same guy. You can't do anything with it. That's where I stand with it, and I don't have
think about this though. What is it? I'm going to read off some names and tell me what you think of them when I read them off. Kyle Allen.
Oh, no. Yeah, I understand what you're going to say.
Okay.
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Fitzpatrick.
Ryan Fitzpatrick. Well, we got 14 plays out of him. Can't tell.
Alex Smith.
Dwayne
Smith. Haskins. Taylor Heineke. See what I'm going here, guys?
I see where you're going here, but you know what?
I don't think it's 100% fair. But now listen, something had to happen, of course.
Right.
And I am as much of a fan of Scott Turner as I am. I definitely understand the move. I'm not going to go off and say, oh, he's just being thrown under the bus. But what I am going to say is just take Nathaniel Hackett for instance. He was Aaron Rodgers' offensive coordinator. Okay, that's how he got the job in Denver. It just goes to prove that if you don't have all the tools in the shed, you're not going to be able to get the job done. And unfortunately, that hasn't happened. Listen, you're not going to. I don't care if you're Andy Reid. I've said it before. You're not going to win games without a competent quarterback. What is going on with?
I don't know. I'm going to get rid of the blur thing there. So there. All right, there. I'll just get rid of the blur thing altogether.
The fact of the matter is this.
See,
I agree with Benjamin Albright. Scott Turner will not be jobless for long. Now, whether he succeeds or not, that is, you could question that.
I got good news. He has a job already. I don't know if you knew that or not.
No, I did not.
I ordered some pad thai the other night, and he was my freaking order.
Wow.
Listen. These are facts, man. Just look at the quarterbacks he's had.
I get it.
And the best quarterback he's had could not crack a QB1 spot on an XFL team.
Look, all right, but at the same time, you can say all you want that he adjusted to all of it. But when I listen to quarterbacks that have been in that system say that it's plug and play, meaning he doesn't change anything, you just get in there and do it. I'm looking out in San Francisco. They've got the Mr. Irrelevant out there playing balls like lightning, man. That dude's fucking winging the ball all over the place. He's staying within their offense, but they're putting up 35 points a game. This week, I'll give him credit because
he can throw the ball. So
Hal can throw the ball, but I also don't think he dumbed the playbook down too much for him. I think he did pretty much the same kind of thing. There was a lot of mixing at the snap. There was a lot of mixing in the backfield when he was taking the ball. There was a couple of times I thought, oh shit, they're going to bang into each other. I thought that they had a lot of good different inside crossing routes that they were using underneath that got Terry open for a lot of these short gainers that turned into intermediate gains, where you could run for the first down, got some good yak on it. So I would have been interested to see. I would have been willing to say, okay, if they're going to keep him for a year, I would have not been happy. I'd have bitched about it. But going with a better quarterback, because I do agree with what you say. The fact of the matter is, though, he never adjusted to any of them to be able to get production out of any of them. And that's the thing that drives me crazy. And frankly, that fourth goal against the Browns is enough. That was enough.
Listen, he changed his entire offense for a Taylor Heineke. I mean, because Taylor Heineke can't go downfield. I mean, that's what the Air Coryell offense is you run and you throw downfield. It just did not happen. We did not have the quarterbacks to do that. So yeah, he certainly did change his offense for that.
I don't know what the fuck's going on with my camera. Sorry, everybody. I do believe I'm not going blurry. I will say this. You'll see. I have a nice pair of new glasses. And so it's not my eyes. As a matter of fact, like I said on Twitter this week, a lot of you motherfuckers are a lot uglier than I thought. And you can blame VisionWorks for that. And this is the segment of the show where Jesse and I are queued up to argue about Scott Turner while Scotty down there does his homework and does the freaking Big and Boss book to tell us how our picks work because he didn't do it this week. Jeez.
You failed, Scotty.
I did fail on the final week as well, fellas. I failed. I'm sorry.
So how do we feel just going forward? And I mean, I'm not looking for a big in-depth thing here, but just an overall impression. Do you feel positive going forward? I mean, granted, we haven't hired an OC yet.
I will say this. I give Ron Rivera a lot more credit than a lot of folks, especially on the social media aspect, because yes, he failed the offensive line. Yes, he failed to get a quarterback, and not really to his fault. He tried, man. I mean, he tried with Matt Stafford. He tried with Aaron Rodgers. He tried with Russell Wilson. We ended up with motherfucking Carson Wentz. So it's not for the lack of trying. And this goes to show that people don't want to come here, and Dan Snyder has a lot to do about that. Now, this offseason can very well change. And again, I know, John, you like to say this may be a lame duck year for Coach Rivera, and you might be right. But if he makes a playoff run, I guarantee you, the owner wants to see his whoever the new owner is going to want to see the team in the playoff. Now, another thing where a lot of people think Ron Rivera failed at, and in a way, yes, he did, was with the offensive line. Yeah. But if you go back, both Turner and Norwell, they graded out very well.
The run blocking very well.
The years prior.
Mhm.
So, yes. And people, and I see here like JP Finley, oh, you let Brandon Sheriff walk out the door. No,
He was leaving
he
anyway.
didn't. And
Yeah,
he
he was
didn't. They offered him a huge contract to be the richest guard. They didn't want to be here. That's I don't fault Ron Rivera for that. Listen, I really, really don't. I don't fault Ron Rivera for going out and getting somebody because he had to get somebody.
Right. Turner and Norwell had played at a high level, and he did. I mean, the thing about it that makes everybody get real sour in the mouth is the familiarity with this Panthers connection.
I don't care about that.
Yeah, they did play well recently, and it's just that they fell off the cliff this year.
Sure, yeah, and that happens to players. But people can't
losing
look
the
into
center
the future.
Hurt.
Yes, very much so.
Right off the bat hurt. So
very much so. So
overall, positive going forward or negative?
I thought this, besides the offensive line and quarterback, I think we're in pretty damn decent shape. Listen, there's options. Okay, there's options this offseason.
Yep.
You can go the cheap route, develop around Howe, or if you want to bring a veteran and build that offensive line, there's ways that Ron Rivera will keep his job going forward with a new owner. The way I see it.
Okay. Scotty, what do you think? You got positive outlook, negative outlook? You're feeling like we're spinning wheels?
I feel like we're a little bit stuck in the mud, to be honest with you. I think we do have a bit of a lame duck coaching setup going forward into this final year. I ultimately think if the team gets sold, which we all hope it does get sold, it will be a new coaching setup next season. I think Ron has probably earned and deserved the right to stay on for this one season as a bit of a placeholder until the next regime comes in. Whether he brings in an OC that wants to look at this as a project and thinks, I'll bet on myself and I'm good enough to, show people that I can take this job full time, then that might be something he goes to. They've said they're going to hire from outside the organization, which is something I did want to hear. Rather than just from promoting within, and we'll get, I think, on some names that have been banned later on. I'm okay with that too.
Yeah, we'll go get to that
overall, though, there's been some quite baffling decisions at times, but he's done well with what he's got, and I have to give him his props for what he's got. He didn't expect the two guard signings to be as bad as they were. They came into the season injured from training camp. They never really recovered from that. And playing 18 games in a season is tough on the body, especially if you're in the trenches.
We remained relatively uninjured.
We did. So you've got to give them a little bit of credit, a bit of credit there for doing what they did. Up front has been the real problem, though. And what I really want to see is this develop to having probably 5 new offensive linemen. I've said it before. I'll say it again. The depth behind was what killed us this season, especially also. We've seen some bright sparks in places, and I, as the eternal optimist in me, we know now we've got 2 great safeties. We've got a really decent enough back end as long as Cam Curl stays fit and plays, because it seems that as soon as he's injured, the defense at the back end falls apart. We've seen flashes from Kendall Fuller, which has been good. 2 pick sixes, never got a pick 6 in his life before that. We've seen great play out of Jamin Davis in his second season, highest rated tackler on the team. And then we've also seen, the future potentially in Sam Howell. It took a long time for him to get there. I'm not using the one game as a sample size, and we expressed it in the last couple of weeks on the pod here that all we wanted to see is the intangibles there, are the fundamentals there, can he be coached up? And I think he can be. Teron Payne's had a massive season. Jeremy Reeves is an All-Pro on both of the All-Pro lists, both the players and the Associated Press. So fantastic, fair play to him. He's also got the Pro Bowl. Terry McLaurin's had a great year. Our first-round pick worked. We still have to wait out on Mathis, obviously quite a big injury there. And the rest of the picks work. Brian Robinson, came back, but some of the excuses at times has baffled me. Some of the decisions, whether it's the media that's driven it or whether Ron feels a bit pressured. And sometimes, we've all been there. I'm on a podcast with you guys and I make mistakes and we all make mistakes. Sometimes maybe I think that there's some things that have come out of Ron's mouth that he doesn't really feel comfortable at times. I'm the effing guy. I'm the one who watched the stuff at Indianapolis, and then the next press session, he's saying, what's the problem? It's quarterback. Then he didn't know he was going to get eliminated from the playoffs. These are mistakes that we shouldn't really be seeing out of it. And is it the pressure that's getting to him? I don't know. Only he knows that. But for me, I think he's a in a lame duck season now, and we're going to have a new coaching staff throughout. But whatever happens coming next season, I thank Ron for his services. I think he was the right man at the right time, as I've said before. And, I wish him all the best. I'm not crying over Scott Turner, not because he's not a bad coach. It's horrible watching people getting fired. They've got to lose their jobs, move houses and whatever. But at the same time, he's walked away with probably $8 to $10 million. So, is it really that bad that you're going to get paid $8 to $10 million over the next year and a half or so and not have a job? I take that redundancy package. But yeah, I mean, there needed to be a change. You got a
positive outlook or a negative outlook?
Sorry, man, I've droned on a bit there, but I've tried to get there. I'm a bit stuck in the middle. Right. I'm a bit middling. You know what I mean? Some have been positive, some have been negative. So it's been a routine season in the Washington Commanders, hasn't it? It's a standard rinse and repeat season.
Yeah. What the fuck? Right.
Some highs, some lows. Yeah.
Now, for me, I see a little bit of a positive here, and the only reason why is Sam Howell. And I'll tell you what, I do think Ron's a lame duck. I think if the sale goes through soon, which we're all hoping, although it's probably highly unlikely, then that axe will fall much sooner rather than later. If he makes a deep playoff run next year, let's say that we do sale and it's not taken up until March, it's too late. Deep playoff run might save his job. But other than that, look, even if owners, they want their people, they're not going to just take on whatever.
Owners want to win.
They want to win, and
they want to win. And if he breaks the playoffs, that means he's winning. And
it depends. Yeah, if he goes 8-1 and makes the playoffs next year because they back in, I don't think that'll rescue him. I think he's got to go deep. He's got to go to the NFC Championship game if he wants to hold a job, because I think they're going to want their stuff. But the main thing that I'm optimistic about. Go ahead.
Sorry, mate. No, I'm just going to jump on your point there. To your point there, John, the other thing we've got to think about is how he goes about backing into the playoffs if it does end up like that. If we start with 4 losses.
Yeah. Well, see, this is Ron.
Good.
This bullshit about, we're a slow starter. I don't care, man. Dude, it's the NFL. You can't afford a slow start anymore. You just can't. I don't care about it. You can't just count on being able to string together 6 out of 7 games for wins in the middle of the season every season. You gotta consistently go. But the Sam Howell situation gives me some hope because, number one, I know it's one game, but it was a damn good outing. And it was not necessarily the win. It was not necessarily the fact that if Sly makes his kicks, it's the most points we've put out in 2 years. It's the fact that we've talked about this before. It wasn't too big for him. The mistakes didn't bother him. He was on target. That man, the ball in Terry's hands while he's still running full is unbelievable. Receivers are their eyes are popping out of their head because they can still run when they get the ball. So I think that we have a position where we can start to develop this guy. All right. People holler and scream, your 5th round pick doesn't make any fucking difference. If you want to develop a rookie, tell me why not. Tell me why not. Tell me what he showed you that says we need to get somebody better. And what makes him better? That guy, that was his first game. All right. If he gets those kicks, we score 34 points. Right? He had a hell of a good game. I mean, we had a lot of short fields, but at the same time, everybody wants to draft and develop a quarterback. Well, here's a quarterback that we drafted. He showed he's worth developing. I think he's going to be the only one with a contract in the next couple of months. Once Heineke's a free agent and once Wentz is cut, he's the only one that's left on the team. I can very well see Jake Fromm getting a modest contract to play clipboard holder. And some other
he's already got one, John. He's already been signed to a futures deal.
He has? All right. Well, so there you go. There's our practice squad guy. So I think I can see them going after a minor veteran to
Jacoby Brissett, Andy Dalton, somebody like that.
Right. And frankly, I know you are all in you want to go all in on Derek Carr. Me, I don't want to spend that much right now. If he hadn't have shown so well last Sunday, I'd have been much more open to the idea. But right now, tell me why not develop him.
Like I said last week, be careful what you wish for with these one games, man. We've seen this before. We've seen this with a lot of other quarterbacks before. And I am not putting my eggs in, let me drop Sam Howell basket because of the fact that this overall, besides the quarterback and the offensive line, this team is built to win now.
Well, let me drop this wrinkle on you. He won against a playoff team. All right. He won a game. He won. He won convincingly, whether they're looking like shit or not. He won convincingly against a playoff team. It wasn't a simple, close one that we got lucky win. He beat the shit out of that team.
All right,
So
let me throw
wait,
this.
hang on. Let me continue here with this point right here. Let me drop this on you. We got a lot of guys coming up on contracts. We're looking at Deron Payne all of a sudden now looking elite. Are they going to continue with the plan with Mathis and probably let Payne walk? You got Montez Sweat next year. You got Chase Young coming up. You got Cam Curl this year. You got Cole. No, I'm not even going to say it. Fuck that guy. Get him out of here. But a fifth round pick quarterback that can play and start and give them a chance to win, you got room to make a lot of deals.
Yeah, we talked about this last week, and I agree. If that's the route that they choose, but what I thought about this morning too, actually, getting a new offensive coordinator. We know that Sam Howell, he had trouble learning this offense, and yes, the numbers offense, the Turner offense is quite difficult. Very wordy, lots of numbers to remember, because all the numbers are associated with the different routes. Receivers are running different blocks that backs and tight ends are blocking. It's depending upon what offense of coordinator comes in. How do they feel about Sam Howell? How will Sam Howell be able to, learn a new offense if that's the case, which is probably will be a relatively new offense.
Very few of them get to stay with the same game. Now, Scott,
granted, you're absolutely right. But this new offensive coordinator, man, he's going to have a lot to say, about whoever who's the quarterback going to be.
Sure. I got to think they got to ask him that though,
and it's got
even though I said last week how bad that would be.
who
that was their head coach.
Also, too, if by chance this is Ron's last season next year, this offensive coordinator, don't expect no highly touted hot commodity coming in here as an offensive coordinator. And I still think there's a chance that they go and make Ken Zampese the offensive coordinator, which I would be okay with that. Familiarity with everybody. And I think that would be good for Sam Howell. Actually, I think that would be probably best for Sam Howell as his offensive coordinator. There's a lot of things that can go, man. And one thing I do not want them to do is just settle on just Sam Howell. Let's keep our options open. Let's do what's best for the team that we have right now. Because yes,
don't overspend
this team,
right now.
One thing that I will say right now, we got one of the best skill positions in the entire NFL. I mean, it's up there, man. It's up there. It's top 10 at least.
And it's wrapped in for a little while. Okay. Now, I mean, Terry got a 3-year deal, which will be up after 2 years from now, right?
So you got Jahan that's wrapped up for
3 years from now because you still
it starts after this year.
Yeah, still one under. That's right.
You got Terry and Jahan. They're going to be together. They're going to be together for quite a long time. Same with Brian Robinson.
So let's say Hal doesn't work out. Let's say he shows next year that okay, you're not the guy, and that's the year that we like a quarterback and we make the move up to go get him. We spend all the picks and we go get him. We've still got this core built together. We've still got this core together.
But how long is it going to take that for that new quarterback? You're saying after this draft, after next draft, that's only one more year.
I get it, but that's the dice that you roll in the NFL.
That is, and
trying to put together a puzzle.
And that's why you want to also think about a veteran. Who you just think you got to think about it. You got to keep your options open.
I get it. Right now, my options, I'm going with Sammy Howell.
Yeah, Yeah, I want to win now. Sam Howell, I like what I saw. I like what I saw from him.
Do you remember last time?
But I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't bet on Sam.
All the crying about what if he gets hurt? What if he has a bad game? And I kept saying, but what if he wins? What if he wins? What if he wins? And he won. What do you think, Scott?
So there's a bit of news come out actually within the media world, not necessarily our local media, but local media around the NFL, reporters and stuff saying that they've been told that the Commanders are heavily interested in Giants quarterback Daniel Jones if he was to become available this season.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's an option. I mean, listen, Daniel Jones is another one of those guys that has been stuck with poor offensive.
He's also been learning.
Yeah, but listen. Daniel Jones, he didn't have a bad year this year, guys. He really didn't. He wasn't asked to do a whole lot, but the guy's got a cannon for an arm. and the guy can move, man. He really can. Listen, like I said, options need to be open.
Right. And I'll tell you, Daniel Jones would be on my wish list. All right. And as much as I hate the Giants, here's the deal. If they leave the Giants, I don't give a shit. And if they're a good player and they come to my team, I'd take Saquon Barkley, wouldn't you? I would.
Sure.
But he's a Giant. He's a subhuman son of a bitch. Fuck him.
Yeah, I don't care what team they come from.
Right.
I want them to help whoever helps this team win. I really don't give a shit.
Daniel Jones has been one of those guys that I have made fun of and picked on. Dude, I made a cartoon of him and Eli Manning. Eli Manning was Andy Griffith, and I made him had him walking down, showing him how to cast out in the lake. Let me show you how to cast one, boy. Show you how to make a fumble face. Right, doing all that kind of shit. But he has played well, even as a rookie. I mean, making his mistakes. Everybody laughed about it, and I was just as loud laughing about it too, because fuck the Giants. But at the same time, I'm laughing. I'm going, I think this guy's probably got. I think he's got it. He's got a good arm. They hide him. And he can use his legs.
He's been stuck with shit offensive play calls and coordinators. You know,
they let him throw it. Though. He's all right.
He's got a gun. Yeah. Listen,
I wouldn't
look this year alone. He had Saquon Barkley and nobody else.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
And listen, like we've been saying all year, give us a competent quarterback, and we got everything else, man.
Yeah.
You know. We really do. We don't need a top 5 quarterback to be successful. This team doesn't need a top 5 quarterback to be successful. This team needs a top 16, top 15 type of quarterback, and it's all going to go through the run game. And then you got Terry and Jahan on the outside. That's it.
I wouldn't turn away Daniel Jones. He would be a little bit more expensive, I think, because he's coming for a second contract. But at the same time,
he would be cheaper than Derek Carr.
His youth is also something
cheaper.
to consider. Right. He's a lot cheaper than Derek Carr. You wouldn't have to spend any picks to get him. If he's an unrestricted free agent, they can go after him and grab him on their own, which I wouldn't be averse to.
What do you think it would be about 25, 26 million a year for him?
Less than that, probably 20. Yeah, I reckon 20 mil.
Because they can point at they can say, see, they got your stats here. They're not so high. And he can make all the excuses he wants, but that's the numbers that drive the whole thing.
He's not going to get Carson Wentz money. And Carson Wentz was on, 26 coming up. So 28 mil, I think we paid him this year. It's an interesting one. I mean, you're right in what you're saying. I mean, it was 70 in the end. 70 quarterbacks started in the NFL this year from one way or another. And if you've got someone who's in that top 20, 25, then you're going to have to start paying people a lot of money. Whether you like it or not.
But if you have one of those top 15, top 20 type of quarterbacks, and if you got the right pieces around them, you can be successful.
Yeah, of course you can.
Sure.
Especially with the defense being able to keep you in games. Shit, man, come on. Yeah, I mean,
look at Jared Goff in Detroit. No one expected him to have this season that he's had this season.
No,
why has he done? Yeah, but why has he done so well at Detroit? Because he's got weapons around him. He's had Amon-Ra St. Brown
around him, and they've got a good offense,
and they've got a good running game, and they've got a good defense as well now. So they're going to be a problem in the next few years, and people are sleeping on them, and that's the sort of
anybody is now.
That's the sort of thing that you can look at and say, well, you don't necessarily, as you're right, Jesse, you don't need the top 5 guy. Everyone wants Lamar Jackson. Everyone wants the Justin Herberts, the Joe Burrows of the world. We're just not going to get that. Now, you can do it 2 ways. You can rock with Sam Howell and say, yep, that's our guy. We're going to go with him for the year. And if it all shakes out, the coaching staff go anyway, new owner, and we're going to probably have quite a high draft pick. That's if we've had a shit season, we're going to have quite a high draft pick. And you don't then have to necessarily trade right up to get the number 1 pick overall. But there's 2 or 3 quarterbacks coming out next year who are better than this season's. Yeah,
I'd agree. That's why I'm ready to roll with Howell. And I will say this.
So if that's the case, or as you said, you bring in a Daniel Jones, you let him somehow sit behind for another year, and you say, is it going to work with Daniel Jones? But then we're in that perennial merry-go-round again of the carousel of quarterbacks. That's just the way
it's going to go.
There's a few Daniel Joneses that would be available. You got Daniel Jones, you got Jacoby Brissett, even Andy Dalton. He's had a pretty damn decent year.
Yeah.
There's those types of quarterbacks out there that won't cost you anything. That again, you want to bring someone like that if you plan on keep developing Sam Howell.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if they want to develop Howell, I would definitely welcome Andy Dalton. That's for sure. And let me say this, because I know that you brought them up, and I know they pay attention to this. Let me say this to you. I can hear you. I'm muted?
Yeah. Oh, it's just muffled.
Oh, it's just the fucking music. I got to turn. It's hard to find the right angle for this. But let me tell you something there, Detroit Lions. You people up there in Detroit. You came damn close this year. The best thing about all of it is that you knocked that fucking bastard Aaron Rodgers out of the playoffs in his own house on the last night of the season. That was fucking nice. Great. That was fucking great. For all of this, I mean, he doesn't talk a whole lot of shit, but he did say.
I thought they were going to come out flat, like because they were knocked out of the playoffs. The Packers would come out flying. But yeah, no. Kudos to the Detroit Lions. Remember last year? I was on them last year. I was like, guys, they're a team that's going to start to be on the rise, and they are this year. And watch out for them next year, man. I think next year, shit.
Well, let me just say this because I know they're still paying attention. Next year, fuck all of you. Fuck you. We're going with the Commanders. Yeah. That's the way it is. I can respect them, though.
If they're still named the Commanders.
Yeah. Who knows what we're going to call the Washington Wankers.
Yeah. You know what? You'll drive by Home Depot and try to pick up a couple day workers, and then my Major Tuddy will be standing there. I can do drywall. Okay, good. Get in the back.
So a little bit of news here on the offensive coordinator search. Obviously, we think we're not going to get a premier guy. People, as we've discussed, like the Eric Bieniemys of the world, they're not going to step aside and come to do a sideways job over here.
Bieniemy is not leaving Kansas City for anything less than a head coaching job.
Correct. I mean, he's the most protected OC in the entire game, to be honest with you. And that we think that's there. Mike Schuler's obviously been mentioned as the retread from
you said Bills, it just right. Mike Schuler.
So he might as well be his dad, you know.
Hey, I'd take his dad's head. Put his dad's.
There's just not going to be a whole lot of good options, right?
No. I mean, one that Scouse picked up on was Bobby Slowick, who used to be with us here. He's like a passing game coordinator in San Francisco, so he's calling the plays.
Now you know what we'll do. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and then let's attract the women fans, and let's take this running back coach and make her the first female offensive coordinator.
maybe. Yeah. And then there's Jim Caldwell's been talked about. I mean, Mike Garafolo put out a tweet here saying Commanders have reached out to former Colts and Lions head coach Jim Caldwell about their vacant OC job, but sources tell him and Rap Sheet, Ian Rappaport, he's told them he's only pursuing head coaching opportunities. He's been interviewed for 2 in this cycle.
Yeah, and you know why people? I don't think he's going to get. I don't think he's going to get a head coaching job. No. But there, the Rooney Rule. He's going to get interviews because he's got experience.
He was winning with Detroit.
Sure,
but he hasn't coached since 2019. And I think what he's talking about is XFL, USFL. These are coming.
Yeah. Look, I just don't think they're going to be able to pull a rabbit out of the hat unless you got a hot college coordinator that wants to make their start in the NFL. I could see that because any of these big name coordinators that may be available, they're going to see this. Right. They're going to be like, look, you could be just 1 year, But Ron's argument could be like, listen, let's make this year a bang so we can keep on playing. That would be his argument. I just don't see that happening though. I mean,
well, see, to me, Ron, I think says, hey, this guy's 52. He's one of the youngsters, and I think that's where his line comes in. I don't think that he's really into looking for anything I don't want it to be too hip. I don't understand the lingo.
Scott Turner was young
people. Scott Turner was with him in Carolina, and he had his dad with him in Carolina telling him, oh, my boy, he's all right. Why don't you give him a job? I'd rather not. He's working at McDonald's, so why don't we just make sure he's an offensive coordinator? But see, I think that he'd more likely go for a Jim Caldwell type because he knows him. They're both old. They can sit around talking about how much their foot hurts or whatever. And honestly, I wouldn't be
bunions.
That's new hip.
Right.
Ron Rivera, the new recipient of a plastic hip.
Ringing
It's
the bell.
that it's the advert, isn't it? Help! I've fallen in the park and I can't get up.
That's right. I'm sorry, I'm stuck on the sidelines. I could see Ron go in that direction because he knows him. They're old buddies. They've been around for a long time. And honestly, if they want to bring in somebody like Jim Caldwell as the offensive coordinator, I would not feel too bad about it. He's not a bad offensive coordinator, I think. In my opinion.
Here's some breaking news. The Colts have reached out and are preparing an offer for the Chicago Bears' #1 overall pick with Michael Pittman Jr. as a package, as part of the package.
Really? That's Jim Irsay.
They're going for that. They love the Kentucky quarterback,
Will Levis.
Yeah.
All right, tell you, so call the Bears up. I'll tell you what, they owe me a favor. They owe me a favor. Why don't we get Pittman out of it? They don't have any widers. They don't have anybody catch the ball. So put Pittman on the list there, boy. We're going to send him up there and say, why don't you give us the first pick? And if Jimmy McCaskey gives me any shit, I'll just go up there and pop her in the lip, you old bat.
So, do we think...
My Jim Irsay impression.
I love that. Do we think that... that the team is actually going to get sold? Because, I mean, I've seen...
Yeah, I think that's...
reports that they were packing, the bags have been packed, everything, personal effects have been removed from FedEx. And then today...
I mean, they do that every year, though.
There's a bit on the sale today. Did anyone see this? This guy, I don't know how you pronounce his name. Todd Bowley.
Yeah, the owner. He owns the soccer team. And
he owns Chelsea, doesn't he? Yeah.
Part of the Dodgers. Yeah, I mean, hey, bring him on. Listen.
Here I go again.
You can, with ownership, you never know what you're going to get, but anything's better than Dan Snyder. So,
well, the one thing I can say about this guy, based on what I saw on Twitter today, which was just his photograph and a couple of sentences, is the guy needs a better haircut. What the fuck, dude? You got billions of goddamn dollars. Why can't you get these split ends taken care of?
Oh, Lord.
Just me. I did read somebody threw some caution out that said that he does like to overspend on free agents and try to buy titles.
Dude,
so I don't know.
Buy as many fucking titles as you want.
If you can get
Washington.
He spent $400 million
the Dodgers
pounds in Chelsea.
They've been
in
Dodgers
this season.
compete. Yeah, Dodgers compete. There's no cap in. There's no cap in baseball.
There's no cap in our football either, and he spent $400 million in transfer fees for Chelsea this season so far.
Well, hey, if he's got the money, if he knows how to manipulate the cap, bring his money people in, shit, I'm all for it. Get the best guys possible.
So what's that? Half $1 billion?
I'm not saying go the old Dan Snyder route where every big name asshole gets linked to the team. Like over primed prime Deion Sanders or
Josh Norman.
Well, Josh was okay for the first 2 years. Yeah, and Josh Norman was actually really good the first year, and then he was all right the second year, and then after that was pretty shitty. I even had a Josh Norman jersey, so that just
hi North, you all right?
Well, hi there, Scotty. I was just curious if anybody knows if anybody's hiring. You got anybody that's hiring? My son's moved back down in the basement, and the wife don't like it too much. And frankly, that was my place now in my den. And now he's down there putting in his bedroom and whatnot. And frankly, I really don't feel like watching them go try to work over it like, I don't know, Piggly Wiggly or what have you. So if anybody knows anybody, give me a holler. Would you mind?
I think you need to call the Arizona Cardinals. They've got quite a few bits going on over there, I think.
I've heard about that. And, I've thought about moving to Arizona myself. It's got a nice climate down there and everything like that. And maybe they might need a head coach. And, if there's one thing I know how to do is it's go 500. And I think that would be an improvement for them. And I could bring my son over and we could just turn them into the Arizona Turners. What's more about? That was horrible. Jesus Christ. What the hell's the matter with me? I don't know. I turned off my microphone so that I could blow my nose. And, it's because I got this big old fucking yapper here. I'm blowing my nose and I realized that I've got Norm's picture up there. So I figure I might as well, oh shit.
Should we go on to the big book of the Big and Boss book then, gentlemen?
The Big and Boss book. Let me get at the Big and Boss book music here. So I'm bad with this kind of stuff anymore. I got to clean this list out. How did we do last week? Just overall.
So overall, Jesse,
yes or no, high or low?
It was pretty good. It was a pretty good week.
All right, so then I'm not going to play that then. All right, we'll go ahead and Scotty, bring open the big embossed book.
So Jesse, 12 correct this week. Ooh. John also 12 correct this week, and I got 11 this week. Yeah. So the overall winner on the season is Jesse. Jesse has 4 wins. John has 2 wins, and I also have 2 wins. On to the I have no idea. On to the money situation.
Wait. We picked how many games, and
how many weeks we won?
Weeks you won. Yeah. How many times you were the winner? You were the winner of the week.
How many times I was the winner for the week? Oh, see, well, when you come over to my house, you'll see that I win every week.
Ah, nice. So $1,250 was put down by Jesse. He had a return of $1,780, a profit of $530. So well done,
Jesse.
Bad.
That's not bad at all.
Not at all.
I think the Titans was the one that got you, and also you picked a Detroit win, which was a really good call there as well. John, 1,650, and you put down 1,200, so a 450 profit for you as well. Well done. I think the one that you got was overall was the Rams. I think Houston.
Houston. I told you they were going to win.
Favor. Yeah.
Well, I picked Houston to win too. I think
you did. Then for me,
I put the money on them because they've been good to me this year.
I put down $1,800, which is the biggest I've ever given on a week.
That's
and I came out with $1,805.
So you won £5.
$5. Yeah.
I wonder if that's even possible. Probably over at the studio with BetUS.com going, look at this fucking guy. He won $5.
But no, I'm not putting $1,800 on. That's for sure. The Chargers, man. Oh my God.
I'll tell you what. I do for the Chargers. I want to say, hang on a minute. I gotta fix my fucking sound levels and all this shit because this is such a clunky thing. But the Chargers.
What the fuck is that? What the hell was that? What the hell was that?
And the fucking thing was, all right, we did our show.
They played the Broncos, didn't they?
They played and they got beat 31-28. And I put
and the Broncos won. The Broncos beat them 31-28. So, and we all were talking about this last Saturday morning when we did our betting show about how is this possible? And I even remember I said this stinks, but I can't let it go because it was the line that had 3 point underdogs.
Yeah, they're 3.5 points. Yep.
But see, the thing was when we did the show and they had them as favorites, the Broncos as favorites, the Chargers had something. No, the Broncos were favored.
Broncos were favored 3.5.
Yeah, the Broncos were favored by 3.5 points.
That's
and the Chargers still didn't know their total fate yet. They still had something to play for. So it wasn't like they could just say, they're going to rest everybody. We're going to put the Broncos. No, that didn't come out till later in the day. And then
the Broncos have been playing better ever since they fired.
They got rid of right.
I couldn't believe that. I put every penny I had in my BetUS account on the Chargers to win. I was like, for fuck's sake. I won $180.
What the fuck is that? What the hell was that?
Well, speaking of the Chargers, they were playing the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is the most intriguing game to me.
I think this is going to be a good game. Over under is 47.5. Chargers are favored by 1 point. They are on the road.
Mike Williams is out.
Yeah, Mike Williams is out. Other than that, they are a pretty healthy team. Trevor Lawrence is still hampered by that toe injury. He is questionable, but he's going to play. He's going to play.
What the problem with Trevor Lawrence and his toe is he's got to stop wearing these pumps after the game, man. They crush his feet. And frankly, you're tall enough, lady. You don't have to put those things on. You just intimidate people.
And Brandon Sheriff is questionable with a abdomen, but he's always questionable.
You know what happened? Brandon Sheriff looked at the calendar and said, it's January and I haven't taken my 5-week break yet? Shit, what the fuck?
He's played every game.
That's shocking. That's shocking.
He turns around and looks at us and just goes like this. I think that's more of an indictment on our fucking coaching staff, on our staff.
I got the Chargers winning. I think it's gonna be a close game. Obviously, so does Vegas. Only have them at a 1-point favorite. But I think the Chargers, they could make a little bit of a run, man. I think they got Justin Herbert's just a great quarterback, and now that they started running the ball, they've been playing a lot better. Yeah, they fucked up last week, but I think they're going to win this game. And I'll put 50 on it.
Okay. I'll tell you what.
I'm going to go straight money line Chargers. Jesse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've got you.
I'm going to go the opposite, and I'm going to put $50 down on the Jaguars because I think they've got the heat, they've got the home field advantage. I think that they're hot, and I think that Scotty's wife made a good choice on her new football team.
Unbelievable.
She did that because of Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, because they wear the same shoes.
I'm taking the -1, obviously, because but
you're giving a point. I'm taking a point.
And I'm gonna go with the over. I think there's gonna be a lot of points scored in this game.
What is it? 52? Did you say?
No, 47.5.
Oh, I'll take the over. I'll put the other 50 on.
Yeah, I want to put another 50 on that.
This is why Scotty never gets the big book done, because we're both like,
correct, boys. Correct.
Right.
So I'm going to take the Jags. I'm going to put 100 on the Jags.
He's trying to get laid tonight.
Yeah, you know it. I'm just going to take the straight money line. I don't know why my wife did that to spite me. This package turned up this morning. I was like, what's she been buying? And then she said, don't worry about it. And then I came back from the shop. I did the grocery shop and I came back and she had this bloody hat on. I was like, really?
So wait a minute.
Got no idea about American football. She just likes the
colors
and the colors. That's it.
There you go. So when you go shopping,
to spite me,
do you go and buy things like boiled fish heads and
sheep
grouts and things like
grouts, haggis, boiled sheep heads, pie crusts, Brussels sprouts.
I love Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, Brussels sprouts are great.
Yeah.
No. We got the same food as you have, John. Don't worry about it.
You gotta cook them right.
It's not all fillet steak and or fish and chips and drinking
blood
tea,
pudding.
Yeah, right.
So, hey, black pudding's for winners, mate. It gets hairs on your chest. There's nothing wrong with a bit of black pudding. Trust me. It's very, very nice. Very, very nice.
Hairs on your
acquired taste, but it's it's nice.
I have never found anything that they told me this will put hairs on your chest to be really any good. It's usually something that you go, all right, am I in the club now?
The thing with British, the thing you got to remember with British cuisine, John, is that it's normally followed by, or the prequel to that is normally you've had 7 pints by the time you've had British cuisine, so everything kind of tastes okay.
See, I always see British cuisine as really just drinking a bunch of seawater and then swallowing
beans on toast.
Yeah, right. If I can smear some beans on it, it's good to go.
Miami Dolphins, Tualess, are a 14-point road dog against the Buffalo Bills. I'm gonna stay away from these points, even though it seems like a lot, but really, I mean, Tua's out. Raheem Mostert's out. Teddy Bridgewater's questionable.
Skyler's not bad though.
It seems like everybody has a thumb injury. I don't know what the hell they're doing over there. Bradley Chubb is questionable. But yeah, I got the Buffalo Bills obviously winning. The over under is 43.5. I don't see Miami scoring many points.
Well, I thought that too a couple of weeks ago, and they went up into Buffalo and they played him really tight. And this Skyler kid isn't bad. I mean, he's not Tua, but he's got guts. He's got a good fireball, and I think he'll be able to stay a little bit closer than 14 points. I'll take the Dolphins and that spread, and I'm only going to put 50 on it. I don't believe in it too much.
Yeah, I think.
What's Buffalo, the weather going to be up there? Buffalo's they've got what to play for. That's for sure.
And the crowd, the atmosphere, is going to be raucous, man. I mean, they are one of the favorites. Sure, to get to the Super Bowl. The Bills Mafia, one of the best fan bases out there. They're going to be loud. They're going to be raucous. They're going to be really into this game. I don't see this.
See, the thing about the Bills Mafia, they'll let anybody join. You don't have to be even Italian, much less Sicilian.
That's true.
This is kind of a bunch of crap. And you know how with the Sicilians, if you want to join the Mafia, which does not exist, you have to burn a piece of paper in your hand, right? You hold a piece of paper in your hands and you have to let it burn that says that, I will burn like this paper if I give up my friends. What they do is they just basically, they hold their hands out like this and they let a couple of guys piss in it. And you have to hold your hands there the whole time until they're finished pissing. And then you're in the Bills Mafia. And that just seems to me to be not very Cosa Nostra-like.
So, Jesse, you taking the Bills?
Yeah.
Staying away from the points, yeah?
Yeah, staying away from the point.
Get us back on track, yeah. I'll take the Bill. I'll take the Bills, and I'll stay at 14 points. Is a large spread, but it's too high for me. That if it was 10, I'd probably be tempted. Have we talked about the 49ers and Seahawks, the earlier game?
Not yet.
No, not yet. Oh shit! I missed that game. Huh?
It's all right. Scott's in a different time zone. He won't know.
There we go. All right, the Seattle Seahawks are a road dog to the 49ers. 10 points. 10. Yeah, I just don't see. I'm taking San Fran plus the point. Have them lay the points. I'm going to put 200 on that. Over under is 42. I wouldn't be surprised if San Fran scored probably like 35 and Seattle scored
but
like 10.
They're averaging like 34.
Yeah,
with this fucking seventh round no name.
Yeah,
Debo's back as well.
So I think I'm gonna take the over as well. I'm gonna put 50 on the over. This is not gonna be a parlay, but I will lay the points. And I'm gonna put 200 on the -7. Yeah.
What was the over under for this again?
42.
42.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty low number for two teams that can score. Only one team's probably going to do the main scoring because 49ers defense is so good.
But didn't they just play a couple of weeks ago?
Not sure.
I'm pretty sure they did.
Maybe.
All right. So, are you done betting?
Yeah.
All right. I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks and those points. What did you say? 10 points? I'm taking the Seahawks and those points. Look, Pete Carroll ain't afraid of fucking playing in San Francisco. He ain't afraid of their shit. Geno Smith has played outstanding football this year. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the league this year. I don't think they're going to win. I think San Francisco is probably Super Bowl bound. They're I hate to use the word due, but damn, they keep getting close. Maybe Brock Purdy is the guy that they need to put him over the top. You're right, Scotty. I'll say it that way for the rest of my life.
Purdy.
Brock Purdy. That's right.
Brock Purdy.
So, and I'm also going to put $100 down on the Seahawks with the points, 10 points, and I'm putting $100 down on that over because holy fucking shit. Oh, what's Birdie got going on? Birdie. Today,
Birdie.
Get a werewolf puppy, Elijah. I see now. That's just not even. You can't even do that. There's no freaking full moon tonight. Shut up. We're not falling for that. So, look, I'm going with that because look, Pete Carroll, he ain't scared. He's played down in San Francisco and won before. And if I'm not mistaken, just a couple of weeks ago, we had the same discussion and I said the same thing. And I think I won with the Seahawks, even though they might have lost.
He might not be scared, but that doesn't mean he's going to keep this game close.
Look, dude, that dude chews gum like the best.
He jumps the hell out of them.
I don't know how he doesn't bite his fucking tongue.
He's mad at it, man.
Yep.
He was most definitely a golden retriever in a former life, wasn't he? He certainly was. What is he? 70? Is he 70?
Amazing. He really is.
He's like, he's older than that. I think he's like
72, 73
or something. I think he's like 76 actually.
He's up there. Now, so that's what I'm doing. I'm going with the Seahawks getting those 10 points, and I'm putting 100 on the over because 42 points. Yeah, man, I could see that going away in the first half.
Yeah.
So I've got San Francisco. I'm laying the points, and I'm going to put 100 on that.
Smart, man.
Birdie with the werewolves. Ow.
Wait, what was that?
All right, we got this. Wait, what was what?
Nothing.
I want to hear Scott say the werewolf again. Every time we
the
I'm sorry. I get these wines in me, and this is what happens.
Baltimore Ravens are traveling to Cincinnati to take on the red hot Cincinnati Bengals. Lamar Jackson has been ruled out, so there is no chance in hell that this Ravens team is going to win.
No,
they're road dogs, 9.5. Over under is 40. I got the Bengals. I'm going to lay the points. I'm going to put 100 on it.
I'll take the same thing. Bengals lay the points, put 100 on that, and I'll take 100 and put it on the over. I don't know why. Why do they think that nobody's scoring this weekend?
Because I think they see it as this
divisional rivals.
Well, I think the Vegas thinks that 49ers defense is just going to shut down the Seattle defense.
Well, we're on the other game now. We're on the
and then the Bengals. Right. Their defense has been playing a lot better, and two, the Ravens can't score at all.
So what you're thinking is that with the Ravens game, the 40 points is going to be probably 90%.
Yes,
of the Bengals. Okay, well I can see that, but I have to.
You go back 3 weeks. I think they've scored 3, 13, and I think like 9.
I know. Yeah, they can't. You go back even further than that, man. They've got the single digit, and in the
since Lamar has been out, they've got a real issue scoring points.
Right, and there I go blurry again. What the living hell? I don't know.
So
what you got,
I'm going to take Cincinnati. I'm going to lay them points. I'm going to put a massive 500 on this. I think this is the biggest scoring game of the week.
Damn,
I don't even know how it's close.
Scott, just for your edification, since you are a British citizen and might not know these certain things, did you know that the word Cincinnati is an Indian word for wet lesbian?
No, I did not know that, John. Fun fact of the day. Every day's a learning day, as they say.
What, Lewis and Clark got up there and were like, "Hey, baby, here's $1. What are you going to do?" And then before you know it, the city sprung up.
The New York Giants are traveling to Minnesota.
Speaking of wet lesbians,
on the Minnesota Vikings and Kirk Cousins. They're favored by the Vikings are favored by 3. Mm-hmm. Over under is 48. I like the Vikings in this. I like to lay the points in this, and I will put 300 on this.
What was the spread again, Jesse? Sorry,
3.
Home point
minus 3 for the Vikes.
Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, because John's going to do something like stupid.
I'm going to take the Giants.
What?
Giants.
Golly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Giants.
Okay.
I think Kirk Cousins and their
I thought John was going to do something stupid.
I'm going to do the same thing.
I think their record is absolute bullshit. They've got away with so many overtime wins, last minute squeakers, the balls bounced off the bar.
The fucking Buffalo Bills fumbled the snap in the end zone.
Exactly.
With no time on the clock.
Jefferson did absolutely nothing last week.
They were in that game. There's no way New York will be in that game.
I'm going to take New York, and I'm going to take the points.
I'm going to do the same thing.
Put your money where your mouth is.
I'm only going to put 50 on it.
Okay. All right.
I will. Yeah. I'm putting 200 on the Giants.
Wow.
I'm a believer in the next Commanders quarterback. Let me tell you what, he's going to go in there. He's going to shock the world. No, it's not even so much that. It's the former quarterback that I just don't believe in him. I think that when it comes right down to it, he shits the bed in the biggest of fucking spotlights. They have not really played well coming down the stretch. I mean, yeah, they got that great big comeback win against the Indianapolis Colts. I'm all acclimped about that. Let me tell you what, but I just don't see it. I think that the Giants will be able to control the clock. I think Daniel Jones will be able to run the ball because they cannot stop the run. Saquon Barkley should have a good day. And I think that they're going to go in there and they're going to upend the Vikings, and we're going to hear the Minnesota fans screaming about Kirk Cousins all offseason.
And that pass rush with Kayvon Thibodeau, they bring the blitz, man. They bring the blitz.
But they do get home.
And what was I going to say? Jefferson was really, really quiet last week, and then you've got a week's rest for Barkley and Jones that neither of them played.
Right.
So they're coming into it quite fresh.
I like Barkley and Jones in this game, but it's a matter of I really don't believe in the fucking Vikings. I don't believe in Kirk Cousins.
I don't either.
Yeah, I swear to God, he's really not there, is he, Scott? We're just looking at a figment of our imagination. I don't believe in Kirk Cousins. I'm a cousinsist. All right, so who we got left?
Last one, isn't it?
The Monday night game, Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Dallas has been playing like a doo-doo lately.
So Buccaneers, they picked it up a little bit.
They have picked it up, and I will tell you this, guys. I think Tom Brady and the Buccaneers are going to shock the world, and they're going to beat the Dallas Cowboys. What we saw last week, man, against Washington, the Cowboys look discombobulated. Dak doesn't look right.
Like they didn't care.
Yeah, and I think Brady's got he gets that fire in him during the playoffs, man. And
I think you saw it last week when they played the Panthers.
So I look, they got two big time players questionable, DeMarcus Lawrence and Tyron Smith. Vita Vea is out for the Buccaneers, but I think the Buccaneers are going to pull this off somehow, some way. Brady's going to pull some magic out of his butthole chin and beat the Dallas Cowboys.
I don't think it's going to take much magic, and I think Vita Vea may play. I was talking to
I thought it's questionable. I thought it was out. That was my bad.
Well, he may play. I was talking to a contractor friend of mine down in the area, and he said that they were working on widening the stadium doors so he can get in, because that seems to be the problem. The other option was maybe lowering him in with a helicopter, which if they do, I mean, he can play. He might just have a little bit of chafing from the straps. Look, the last time that the Cowboys won a road playoff game, it was eclipsed by the big news of the fucking Hindenburg exploding over New Jersey. All right. So that's how long it's been. As a matter of fact, Mike McCarthy today showed a film of what was going on when the last time the Cowboys won a road playoff game was, and I think it was Prohibition. So it's been a long fucking time.
Long fucking time.
Right. And they're playing like shit. They look lackadaisical. They don't give a shit. I think that Mike McCarthy has his eye on them. But he's also got his eye over there because that motherfucker swims around like a fish.
If the Cowboys lose this game, do not be surprised if Mike McCarthy loses his job.
Yeah, he's gone.
I would be willing to put some money on that.
What's the spread on this game?
2.5.
I will take the Bucs and I will put that 2.5 points down, and I'll put $50 on that. I don't believe in it too much, but I don't believe in the Cowboys on the road, and I do believe in Tom Brady in the playoffs. And if you really want to have some fun, I don't have the time right now to put it up here, but go ahead and Google up Mike McCarthy and just look at a picture of his face. And I'm telling you, one eye looks over here and the other eye looks over here.
Yeah, John, what we call that shop eyes. One's at the shop, the other one's getting the change. But yeah, on that note, I'm also taking the Bucs. I'm going to lay the points. I'm going to put 100 on that.
Right now, Scouse and Andy are listening going,
oh! They are, yeah.
Our American listeners are going, what the fuck was that?
There's a big stat. I didn't realize this stat until I saw it earlier today, actually, that Tom Brady against the Cowboys is 7-0.
That's nice to hear.
The future Raider quarterback is about to be 8-0.
They've already got pictures. They're already advertising it. The Raiders are.
Yeah.
They're already advertising it. Why not? If you're Tom Brady, you're recently divorced. What better thing to do than take your hot new girlfriend out to Vegas?
There you go.
Right. Have you seen his new girlfriend?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, I tell you, I get kind of weirded out by that kind of stuff. If you go on Google and you type in any football player's name, like the first option that comes up is wife or girlfriend. And it's like, God damn it, how many of you skeevy motherfuckers are out there? You fucking people are just skeevy as shit. What the hell's the matter with you? Everybody's like, oh, look at Tom Brady's girlfriend.
Yeah, I get you.
Look at her. Let me imagine Tom Brady fucking his new girlfriend. Oh.
Is that all the games?
I think that's all the games, yeah.
Please stop me before I come again. John.
Sit down and shut the fuck up. Shut up. Sit the fuck down and shut up. Shut up and sit down. You shut up. Just sit your ass down here and shut up.
That's another one to be clipped there, John.
Well, you know, the best thing about me doing all the clipping is I can clip whatever makes me sound the best. And I think that brings us to a close tonight. We'll probably see you guys not next Monday because there's no Commanders game. So we'll see you probably next Friday around this same time so that we can pick another couple of playoff.
Do our picks. Yeah.
A couple of playoff games. I do enjoy doing this. We have a lot of good fun and we're making some money. So Like I said, if you want to bet with Jesse or me, you can make it in a couple of thousands. You bet with Scott, you're at least coming out $5 ahead.
You might have a little bit of change.
Hey, you know what, Scott? When you give a thumbs up, if you give the other 4, you got all your money. Woo! There you go.
Hey, you weren't saying that when I won $2,000 last week, were you?
No, I wasn't saying that at all. But I see your wife took part of that money and bought herself a Jaguars hat. I noticed that.
So she's got a Jaguars hat, and I'm a season ticket holder. But hey ho,
what is her name?
What it is.
What's her name?
Karen.
Karen. All right. Well, way to go, Karen. Way to join the Jaguars army down there, because they are going to be.
I think after the Super Bowl, you need to make the totals of money that we won this.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that definitely.
I think that.
I'm pretty sure where most of us are ahead.
I think so.
Oh yeah, we're way ahead. I'm way ahead. I know that. You see how I'm dancing? You see my new shirt?
Why do you think John's got a new shirt?
I bought a new shirt. All right, then. Till next week, we will see you guys later.